Welcome to Alpha as Phi, where we break down but hopefully don't break early access games, and today we'll take a look at Dex.
Fibers, can you find Dex? Dex!
Dex is the result of a Kickstarter project, which more than doubled its initial £14,000 goal. It's being developed by Dreadlocks, a developer based out of the Czech Republic, who prior to this only released one game called Room Legend, a mobile puzzle game which combines Norse mythology and Tetris-like gameplay. As of this video, Dex is still in the first alpha build, so I came into it expecting bugs and a relatively limited world to play around in, but I got more of the former than I did the latter. Dex is a 2D side-scroller with elements of action, role-playing, and stealth taking place in a cyberpunk future. The full game has an overarching plot about an artificial intelligence trying to surpass humanity, but for the alpha, you wander around the city of Harbor Prime, conversing with the locals and taking on various side quests, all helpfully displayed in the side quest window. I don't know, the term side quest doesn't seem very cyberpunky to me. How about tasks or directives or, you know what, that's not important right now. Dex allows for multiple quests to be active at once, and they can be triggered via item pickups or conversations. Both are easy to initiate, as anything that can be picked up and anyone that can be talked to will glow either red when out of range or orange when in range, and you can click on them or just hit E to interact with them. Your character can improve certain skills and stats by leveling up and earning skill points, earning experience by defeating other enemies, completing quests, or using certain items like data chips to give XP boosts. Another way of improving your character is by installing implants, which do various things like muffling the sound of your footsteps so you can be more stealthy, boosting or regenerating your health, making you more resistant to ballistics, respirators and conductors that allow you to be resistant to toxic gases or electrical impulses, or my personal favorite, the artificial limbs, which give you the high jump, allowing for better exploration of the cityscape, even if most of the areas I found had little or nothing in them. Yet. There are things you can do which will affect the way that the city is laid out. For example, you can take on a quest with this one bum, which eventually leads him to getting a shop in Fixer's Hope. You can take on a quest to blow up a drug lab, and you will go on to blow up a building in one of the sectors, which obviously changes around the interior design a little bit. The art style is very appealing, and at times I found myself just looking at the background in spots, checking out the graffiti on the walls, some of which was designed by Kickstarter backers, which might explain things like the Guy Fawkes mask showing up here and there. Something I should note before I get any further, any lag or frame drops you see are likely due to my playing this on a computer not originally designed for gaming. Fixer's Hope and some sewer areas in particular hit my PC hard, and there weren't any options available to play around with the graphics settings, so that was a little beyond my control. Speaking of, the control scheme for Dex has a definite learning curve to it. Helpfully displayed at the pause menu, there's a lot to take in for more complex tasks such as firearm use and hand-to-hand combat. Hand-to-hand functions using a combination of left and right mouse clicks and keyboard inputs. There are a couple of different combos available, as well as a dodge roll and a takedown command. I didn't use many combos, and at one point I was worried the enemy AI was entirely broken after I used the Mortal Kombat leg sweep strategy to take out thugs without taking any damage. But thankfully a couple more enemy types show up later, and enemies start grouping together later on. Considering they can hit you while you're down, this helped encourage me to be a bit more evasive and find other ways forward. The Smuggler's Den in particular had me sneak across some ceiling girders, drop down behind a gang to grab a quest item, and then sneak back out while trying not to be detected. There are also a ton of miscellaneous items to pick up and trade with various vendors, most of which are a bit shady in nature, such as sunglasses, porn magazines, condoms, drugs, but there are also random things like t-shirts and toilet paper which you can sell off to buy more useful things, like firearms, body armor, health items like medical kits, soda, stim packs, Chinese food, or kebab? Kebab?! Overall, I'm really enjoying what I've experienced so far, but there are of course a number of problems. I'm going to distinguish between personal problems I have, which are more subjective, and technical problems which are more objective and can affect anyone's ability to play the game. First off, I didn't like not having multiple saves. I was hoping to play around with having one character who was more aggressive and purchased a bunch of firearms versus another character who was more stealthy and tried sneaking around various places. And given how much money you start off with in this game, you can't really do both. The biggest problem I had with the game, however, was the lack of explanation for damn near anything. I found out by accident that the eye and ear icons in the lower left show the vision and hearing cones of hostiles. More importantly though, none of the items have an explanation for what they do until after you've already used them. If you can use them. Aside from what you start the game with, money isn't that easy to come by, especially when you buy either weapons, ammo, or implants. And it would be nice to know what exactly separates one gun or health item or novelty item from another. I was also a bit disappointed that there were so many empty spaces, including an apartment you can rent out from one of the store owners downtown, though I'd expect this to change as the builds progress and hopefully we'll start to see cyberspace interaction like was mentioned by Dreadlocks previously. Now for the technical problems, and I hope you're sitting comfortably because we're going to be here a while. First off, the high jump makes it so the player can reach and jump higher than the top of the background. Running down an incline or staircase too fast can cause the game to think you're falling, making it possible to take fall damage from doing this.
Nancy, what happened to you?
I fell down the stairs!
It seems like completing quests in certain areas affects the ability to move through them, as after finishing the quest to give Timmy's mother a spleen transplant, Timmy later appears outside the building in the same place as when the quest first started. Entering the building his mother was in locks the character in place, making the only way to get out or be able to move at all using the map to quick travel elsewhere. Then again, it might just be a general door issue. This also happened during a fight with two thugs when I tried rolling toward a doorway. Not only could I not move, but the thugs couldn't hit me. Fast travel out and try again, I guess. Sometimes items don't arrange on the inventory screen properly and will go invisible, making them unusable aside from being able to sell them to vendors. Even worse, some items will somehow end up on top of each other, making it impossible to use either of them. Then there's the numbered item bar, which I use to hold my character's gun, where it would also disappear from time to time. The opposite problem also exists, where some items will respawn over and over in some areas. I doubt this is intentional, as one of the items is a data chip, which can be exploited for level grinding, and another is an apartment key and postcard found on the body of a quest-related character. In hand-to-hand combat, one of the thugs does a slide attack, which will damage and knock down your character, even if the thug isn't actually moving. I had a bit of a Scooby-Doo moment in this area below Fixer's Hope. The door I lockpick open leads into the sewers, but this door a short run away from there somehow led me to the exact same place. Hell, at one point I just dropped off a ladder near the door and BAM! I wound up in the sewers again. Sometimes the hazards in the sewers will continue to damage you even when you're nowhere near them, or actively running away from them. The rest of this list is going to be about the biggest issue facing Dex, and a common one given the design of the game: weird collision detection. For example, trying to drop down this ledge caused me to hover away from the ledge and be unable to do anything but drop down, the latter of which happened on a couple other ledges as well, one of which was over an instant death pit. At this particular ledge in the slums, I've fallen through the makeshift bridge instead of walking over it like normal. In this building, I had quite a bit of trouble getting this grate open. I don't even know if this is supposed to be possible, but I managed to open it after high jumping and spamming attacks while hitting E over and over. Then the collision detection decided to take a bit of a holiday. The most glaring problem by far, though, happens when you try to exit almost any building in the Fixer's Hope or Junction areas, as I constantly got stuck in the forward walking animation and, like before, have to fast travel to be able to move again. Out of everything I mentioned, this is what I'm hoping gets the most attention as Dex progresses to the next build. But until then...
I'm walking for miles inside this pit of danger, a place where no